Tonight, chilling breaking news about the FBI's search of Mar-a-Lago. The Washington Post reporting agents were looking for nuclear documents. Quote, classified documents relating to nuclear weapons were among the items FBI agents sought in a search of former President Donald Trump's Florida residence on Monday, according to people familiar with the investigation. They did not offer additional details about what type of information the agents were seeking, including whether it involved weapons belonging to the United States or some other nation, nor did they say if such documents were recovered as part of the search. One of the Post reporters on that story added this earlier tonight.
We know that it was a significant part of what they wanted. I mean, when they first went down and the former president gave them 15 boxes of material, there was top secret documents in those boxes. When they came back on Monday, they got 12 more boxes. This time they were looking for classified documents about nuclear weapons, but they found classified documents about other topics as well.
A Trump spokesman did not immediately respond to a request for comment from the Post, but tonight one of his attorneys was asked about the report on Fox News.
Is it your understanding that there were not documents related to our nuclear capabilities or nuclear issues that had national security implications in the president's possession when the agents showed up at Mar-a-Lago?
That's correct. I don't believe they were. And if they thought they were...
Well, do you know for a fact? Do you know for a fact they were? Have you spoken to the president about it?
I have not specifically spoken to the president about what nuclear materials may or may not have been in there. I do not believe there were any in there.
How does a report like that come out and Trump's attorney hasn't even spoken to him yet? The Department of Justice and FBI have declined to comment to the Post, and NBC News has not confirmed this reporting. This comes hours after Attorney General Merrick Garland said the Justice Department is asking to make the search warrant for Mar-a-Lago a public document.
The Justice Department has filed a motion in the Southern District of Florida to unseal a search warrant and property receipt. The former president publicly confirmed the search that evening, as is his right. Copies of both the warrant and the FBI property receipt were provided on the day of the search to the former president's counsel, who was on site during the search. The search warrant was authorized by a federal court upon the required finding of probable cause. First, I personally approved the decision to seek a search warrant in this matter. Second, the department does not take such a decision lightly. Where possible, it is standard practice to seek less intrusive means as an alternative to a search and to narrowly scope any search that is undertaken.
NBC News has confirmed reports Trump was sent a subpoena months ago for the missing documents. Garland did not mention that and said he couldn't talk about the investigation. Now Trump has to decide whether to fight the DOJ's move to unseal the warrant. His lawyers have until 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow to object. Tonight, Katie Benner of the New York Times reports this. Trump allies are discussing the possibility of challenging the Justice Department's motion to unseal the Mar-a-Lago search warrant. Many Trump allies have been attacking the DOJ and the FBI for days. And today, an armed man fired a nail gun into an FBI field office in Cincinnati, Ohio. He then fled and was killed during a confrontation with police. No agents were hurt. Officials say this very same man was at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th.